9 a.m. after the Hardy concert. So y'all get here quick because there's no more seats. It's standing room only. I'm joined today by my wonderful wife Marjorie, who did make it. She's close, but she's here. And 2 children, Ely and Simeon. Simeon just turned 4, and he's had a blast rediscovering the fair. And Ely's 11, and she's inching ever closer to my worst nightmare, a teenager at the fair. My office represents Lee, Neshoba, Newton, and Scott County. That's a little over 120,000 people. We're responsible for prosecuting all felony cases from simple drug possessions to first-degree murders. There are 3 assistant district attorneys in our office. We have Chris Posey from Neshoba County, Brittany Brown, who lives in Scott County, and Mitch Thomas, who lives in Newton County. And I'll brag on them a little bit more later. We also have 2 investigators, Carolyn Ford-Jones from Scott County and Grant Myers from Neshoba County. These 2 run our pretrial diversion program and really do anything else that needs to get done. I started our pretrial diversion program back in 2016. It's a program for first-time nonviolent offenders. It's not for habitual criminals. The program targets individuals who've made a mistake and want to return to a law-abiding society. Participants are required to keep jobs, take drug tests, and pay fines and restitution. Lastly, and most importantly, one of you 2 sneak that into my speech. We have the last 2 people that work in the office. That's Joni Myers, she's our Victims Assistance Coordinator, and Lisa Howell is our Office Manager. In February of this year, we moved into a larger, newly renovated office. We're a block from the square, across from Byers Furniture. Lisa and Joni were in charge of this move, and they did it seamlessly. Well, except for that ice storm in the middle. That slowed them down just a little. And for years, we searched for a new office in Philadelphia. We had more staff than we did 10 years ago, and had outgrown our old office. I went in every building within walking distance of the square in Philadelphia. None could accommodate us. One day, he came to let me know he was planning on renovating the office building A.T. Williams occupied for years. He let us plan it out just like we needed it, and he took an aging office and turned it into a beautiful building that downtown Philadelphia can be proud of. It's businessmen and citizens like this that make Neshoba County and the district, that make Neshoba County and the rest of the district a wonderful place to live. So thank you, Ian. Like most people, our office has had a difficult time over the last year and a half. While COVID shut down businesses, school, and travel, one thing that didn't slow the least was crime. For the majority of 2020, court was shut down. It's difficult to provide a constitutionally guaranteed jury trial when everyone is social distance. But while court was shut down, law enforcement agencies were not. They continued for thefts, violent crimes, sexual assaults, and continued to combat drugs. As always, they put their lives on the line daily to protect the citizens of this district. Every year from up here, I say it, and I'm going to say it again this year, with the best law enforcement officers in the state. But as a result of their dedication, cases piled up in our office. Our judges and the sheriffs did an amazing job of making sure that only the most violent threats to society remained in jail. Now, these are defendants that have been charged with a crime, but have not yet been in court. We review jail dockets twice a week for the entirety of the shutdown to make sure that even individuals that couldn't make bail didn't stay in a confined space for any longer than necessary during the pandemic. And in March of this year, we began the process of opening court back up. Court personnel met to figure out the best way to alleviate the backlog of cases. Our solution was to have concurrent terms. Typically, we're in each of our 4 counties 3 times a year, and each term lasting for a month. Now, we're going to be in each county we're going to be in 2 counties each month, with a specific focus on disposing of cases that have been on the docket prior to 2020. And there were several days when everyone in my office met just to figure out who was going where on the next day. The work it took to coordinate witness subpoenas, testimony, expert witnesses, jury instructions, and everything else over multiple counties was at times overwhelming. Between March 8th and June 28th, our office conducted 25 jury trials, 8 of which were capital cases, meaning that the defendant in the case faced a possible life sentence. To put 25 jury trials in perspective, that's more trials than most districts try in a year, and we did it in 4 months. And because of that stretch, we have no backlog in any of our 4 counties. Now, during that period, Posey, Brittany, and Mitch were absolutely crushing it. We have by far the youngest DA's office in the state, but that doesn't matter one bit. It's great to know that I can be trying a case in one county and not have to worry about another ongoing trial somewhere else. I know that each one of them will be prepared, professional, and able to handle any situation that might come up. So thank you three for your hard work and dedication through this very difficult time. Another person I'd like to recognize is Judge Kevin May. Of the 25 jury trials, he presided over 13 of them. Mind you, he only became judge in January of this year. During his campaign, he repeatedly said he was going to hit the ground running. Now, I'll admit now I was a little skeptical then. I wasn't sure he knew what he was getting himself into, but he backed his words up. There were many days that trials lasted well past 5 p.m., and we were in court home somewhere doing something almost every single day. Now, there are many judges that don't like to work long hours, or don't like to have court more than a couple of times a week. I'm proud to say that none of those judges are in the 8th Circuit. The most important job our office has is to protect the citizens of this district from dangerous criminals. Many defendants in the cases that we handle don't need judgment. A more rehabilitative approach is necessary for them. However, there are those that need to be removed from society. In March, a man that had been sexually abusing a 13-year-old for years was found guilty in Neshoba County. He's now serving a life sentence, plus 60 years. He'll never be able to hurt another child again. In April, a man was convicted of armed robbery and kidnapping. He kidnapped a lady at gunpoint as she was leaving her work, as she exited the building in the parking lot. He's now serving every day of a 30-year sentence. The downtown Carthage area has one less criminal to worry about. And in June, a man in Scott County shot a coworker in the head as they were driving down the road, having just left their job site. Although he fled to Ohio for months following the shooting, we were able to utilize surveillance videos, GPS data, and forensics to prove his guilt. He is now serving a life sentence. But not everything we do takes place in the courtroom. We also have grand juries, office appointments, paperwork, and lots of other duties. And we make ourselves available to law enforcement 24 hours a day. Whether it be for search warrants, procedural questions, or advice on what to charge, our office is a resource that is always available to any officer that needs us. In closing, I'm proud of what our office has accomplished over the last year and a half, even in such difficult times. I'm also excited to continue serving the people of the 8th District for years to come. If there's anything our office has never helped you with, don't hesitate to contact me. I'm Steve Kilgore, your district attorney. Thank you for your time, and may God bless you.